Colonel?
Full metal.
Where's Crow? Where's Uncle Crow? Uncle Crow was out playing chess this morning. I'm like, love your queen. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so glad we're able to have like a little quiet, fun little Q&A time together here. Yay. Come on in. Are you Tuxedo Mask? Are you Tamaki? Oh, I love you. You are a beautiful magician. For those of you that are just kind of hanging out here because there's not a lot going on right now, and you're wondering who I am, which is entirely possible, I assume, right? My name is Vic. Don't even try that last name. Don't even try it. It's just a waste of your time. It's Italiano. Anybody know Italian here? Do you ladies know any Italian? How do you say Lasagna? Go ahead, you know. Spell it out in your mind. Lasagna. Come on, it's an Italian dish you eat all the time. Lasagna. Huh? Now, your turn. How do you say Bologna? Bologna. If you get a fancy steak at a restaurant, it's a filet, Mignon. What is it?
Mignon.
Filet?
Mignon.
Say it. What's the second word? Mignon. A filet. Say it.
Mignon.
Mignon. A filet mignon. You know what that stands for? I'm going to teach you something today. It's a cute filet. Mignon, a cute. It's because it's small. Cute filet. So, now we learn. GN, the GN combination in Italian makes a gnon sound. Bologna, lasagna. You know how Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk? He doesn't even say his name right. And I tease him about it all the time. From a distance, of course. Because he's much bigger than me. But his name is actually Lou Ferrigno. And my name is Vic Mignogna.
Mignogna.
That's good. Bene. You sound so good. Yes, so, but it's, I've heard horrible botching of that name for many years. My actual full Italian name is Vittorio Giuseppe Mignogna. So in the old country, it's a good name. Not here. It started out as Victor, then it became Vic. As soon as I decided that Victor, about 14 years old, I decided that Victor sounds like a bully. Sounds like like a big, mean bully in school who beats you up and takes your lunch money or something, you know? Victor. So I decided to change it to Vic. Because that sounds friendly. I'm the oldest living voice actor. I know they don't count. No, actually, I've been doing this for 20 years. There's my brother. What's up, drunkle? Did you win? Who won? Who won the chess game? It was a tie!
He knocked his king over.
Stalemate. Where was I? Oh yeah, 20 years I've been voice acting now. You know, some of you are like, I'm 14. Yeah, I know. I've been doing this a long time. I've done over 300 different animated series and video games. Lust, I have a present for you. I just found it on the stage, but you don't need to know that. It's a jewel. It's the Philosopher's Stone, basically. I've done over 300 different animated series and video games over the years, and never been in Nebraska.
Welcome.
I'm jazzed. You guys have sushi here.
And corn.
Here's my question, where does it come from? Because y'all are landlocked, you know that. Whenever somebody goes, hey, let's go get sushi, I think to myself, where am I right now? Idaho? Aren't you landlocked? We fly it in. But is it good sushi? Do you have good sushi here?
Tokyo sushi, Cheekfield. Tokyo sushi.
Tokyo sushi. I looked one up the other night called Ponzu.
Panzu.
Anyone been there? There's also a Vietnamese place. You know about that? Saigon?
Yes, Saigon.
Is that right? And they like make these big bowls. I saved it. Where is it? Where are you? Saigon face bowl. Saigon your face bowl. I swear. Look, Saigon. Look at the. Saigon. Oh. Saigon surface bowl. I thought it was like your face bowl. Like put your face in it, man. It's like, can't turn around. On a mission. Uh-oh. Sorry. I love you.
Alchemy versus Pokemon.
I love you in Digimon. She's like, Pika, up yours! Anyway, I'm so glad to be here. I'm very, very happy to be here. 1 week ago today, I was in London. It was cold. It may have been as cold as it is. No, it may not have. It may have been as cold as it was here, as it is here. I was packing yesterday. I was in LA. It's freaking 85 degrees in LA. And I'm packing, and I'm like, Siri, what's the temperature in Omaha, Nebraska?
-2.
And I looked at it, it was like 14 or 12, and I'm like, oh, I don't even have clothes that warm. Layers is the answer. But I went to Anthony's last night, had a good steak, it was yummy. It was good, it was yummy. And then that place next door that's like a nightclub, Ozone.
Yeah.
All night long I was calling it O2. Isn't it like Oxygen or something? It's like O2. And we went and looked and ozone. But I want to talk with you guys before we get started asking questions, anything you guys want to know. I'll tell you anything. Try me. Except for you. He was way too enthusiastic about that. Did you see? He's like, I've been waiting my whole life. I want to know what kind of underwear. some real embarrassing question. But before we get into that, a lot of you guys wrote me and asked me if I was going to be bringing any of my music. I don't know if you know this or not, but remember how I told you how long I've been voice acting?
Yeah.
I've been writing and producing and singing music for twice that long.
Yep.
That's my main thing. In fact, partway through my anime career, I started being asked to voice theme songs. I've sung the theme songs for One Piece,
Dragon Ball.
3 of them actually, 3 different ones. For Free, for Full Metal, I did the Oron closing theme, Dragon Ball. You guys know Dragon Ball. Don't stop, really love now, right? So I did that one. And a lot of you guys wrote me because I have 6 different music CDs. It's really good music too, blessed, I would not lie to you. If it was bad music, I would tell you. Or I just wouldn't even mention there was music, right? But I've been doing it a long time, and I have 6 different CDs, a great variety of stuff. Got one that's like all club mix, fun, up-tempo, put it in your car, roll down the windows, crank it up. Roll down your windows in a couple of months. I've got a nice variety, a lot of anime-related songs. I have 2 CDs that are just piano, instrumental piano, that are really, really nice to listen to. They're very relaxing. Great if you're stuck in traffic, great if you're having coffee in the morning, trying to wake up. Nice if you're reading, if you want to go to sleep at night, you want to kind of relax, turn into something. And I even have a Christmas CD. Because you guys made me do it. I'm serious. The fans were like, you should make a Christmas CD. I'm like, really?
It was a big hit at my Christmas party, so.
I love you. I love her. There, I said
The
it.
question is, do you remember me?
No.
No.
Oh, baby. Oh, girl. Girl, I've met hundreds of thousands. And you know what? And I wish I had a bigger brain. I do. I wish I could remember every single person that I've met, because you know what? I love what I do so much, you guys. I so desperately appreciate the privilege to do what I do. It's a gift. It is a gift from God, as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to get religious on anybody, but I'm just telling you my heart, right? This is where I am. Wherever you are, it's fine. This is where I am. I wake up every day so grateful to be able to do something that I enjoy doing and to meet people around the world and hopefully bring some joy, maybe some laughter, maybe even some tears or some healing even, or encouragement. If my life ended tomorrow, I have been more blessed than I ever deserved. I got way more than I ever deserved. And I'm very, very grateful for that. And you guys are a very big part of that. So, back to the Christmas CD. So I just made this thing because everyone was like, you should make a Christmas CD. And everybody pulls out the same CDs every year, right? And it's Christmas time, go get those Christmas CDs. Here's a new one. Start some new traditions. And I also have, and this is important, I have to tell you about this because I'm excited about it. I have a live concert DVD.
I have that too.
It's a live, I love her even more. Remember when I said I loved her? I only kind of partly loved her. Now I really love her. It's a live concert at a convention. It was a big convention. Great video, am I right? Great video, great music from Full Metal, The Angel, on High School, Dragon Ball Z. There is also something on this concert, W51 mix. I mean, it's a great CD. It's a great, DVD. But there's something special on this concert DVD. Back when I was recording Full Metal Alchemist, I was having so much fun. I loved that show. Like, I'd done probably 40 or 50 anime series by the time I got cast as Edward Elric. And so I'd been doing, I was kind of in it, right? Nothing new. But Full Metal was different. Like, there was something about that show, and I loved it right from the beginning. So I wanted to cosplay. How do I cosplay Edward Elric, right? Like, that, pretty much, that's about it, right? But I'm too old, so I thought, man, I want to do this. So I made up a story whereby a grown man, my God! Your dad loves you. Stay away from that soul kid. He's a delinquent. So I made this, I made up this story whereby a grown man starts turning into an anime character. And then I started thinking, I don't think I've ever seen voice actors cosplay as their characters. That could be fun. So I started asking some of the other voice actors from Full Metal. And we got together one weekend in Houston, Texas, where I was living at the time. And we shot something called Full Metal Fantasy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Am I wrong?
It's amazing.
It's awesome. Live action, voice actors cosplaying as their characters. And the only time you would ever see it at a convention would be at a convention. It was never online. And I might show it in the context of a Q&A, and you would see it, but you couldn't buy it anywhere. It was special for conventions. And the only other time that I would show it would be if I did a concert. If I did a live music concert at a convention, I would show it on the screen, and then I would come out after and sit at the piano and play and sing the Brothers theme, right? How can I repay you, brother mine? And it was like a nice little segue, right? So as I was putting this concert DVD together, I thought, you know what? Maybe now would be a good time to put Full Metal Fantasy on it as part of the concert and make it available to people that would like to have it for themselves. So Full Metal Fantasy is on the concert DVD. I will have all of the music and the concert DVD, and I have a lot of pictures of different characters. I'll have all that stuff at my autograph session. And that sexy man right there, Austin, oh yeah. You know you see it. He will be with me at the autograph session, and we will have all that stuff. If you'd like to have it for yourself, I'd be honored to sign any of it for you. So there's that, and then if you're on Twitter, make sure and follow me on Twitter. And it's at Vic Mignogna, that weird last name. And also I would be remiss not to tell you about my lifelong dream project that I just finished. You know how you like anime, video games? For me, it was Star Trek. When I was a little kid, you could not pry me away from the television. A 19-inch black and white television, sitting on the floor in the living room because my mom had just divorced my dad and we didn't have anything. No furniture, right? So the TV was plugged in the wall and sat on the floor. And I would lay on the floor every day and watch Star Trek. I lived for that show. You don't even know. My mother, I drove my mom insane. Like, she hated it. Because it was all I ever talked, right? I made her crazy. She literally called it Star Trash. She did. And I don't know if she just did it to make me mad, because she knew it would make me mad, right? It's like, it's like calling Jesus a bad name. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, you say something bad about Star Trek, we are going. It's going. It's going to happen. So, I loved it so much. So much so that it kind of inspired me to do things at 12 years old, or I should, more specifically, I should say to try things for the first time at 12 years old that I'd never tried before. For instance, building a prop. I'd never built anything in my life. I was freaking 12 years old, right? But I was so in love with this show, and the phasers and those communicators. How cool were those things that flip open? I was like, oh my gosh. And there were no cell phones, y'all. Just let me put this in context. There were no cell phones. So I wanted to build those things. I was inspired to build things. I'd never tried that before in my life. And then I wanted to make uniforms. So I got my mom to teach me to use the sewing machine because she hated Star Trash. She wasn't about to make them for me. But she's like, I'll show you how to use a sewing machine. You make your Star Trash uniforms. So she taught me to use the sewing machine. I made my own uniforms. I would go to the fabric stores, y'all. I get Joanne fabrics myself. And I would walk up and down the aisles looking for just the right color gold. And for Captain Kirk's uniform. And then try to find some black that had little sparkles in it for the pants. And then, wait, it gets better. After I made these uniforms and made these phasers, I want to make a Star Trek episode. I'm 12, but I want to make a Star Trek episode. So you know what I did? I rounded all the kids in the neighborhood up. Because my parents had a movie camp. And we got together one weekend in Houston, Texas, where I was living at the time. And we shot something called Full Metal Fantasy.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's like
Am I wrong?
It's amazing.
It's awesome. Live action, voice actors cosplaying as their characters. And the only time you would ever see it at a convention would be at a convention. It was never online. And I might show it in the context of a Q&A, and you would see it, but you couldn't buy it anywhere. It was special for conventions. And the only other time that I would show it would be if I did a concert. If I did a live music concert at a convention, I would show it on the screen, and then I would come out after and sit at the piano and play and sing the Brothers theme, right? How can I repay you, brother mine? And it was like a nice little segue, right? So as I was putting this concert DVD together, I thought, you know what? Maybe now would be a good time to put Full Metal Fantasy on it as part of the concert and make it available to people that would like to have it for themselves. So Full Metal Fantasy is on the concert DVD. I will have all of the music and the concert DVD, and I have a lot of pictures of different characters. I'll have all that stuff at my autograph session. And that sexy man right there, Austin, oh yeah, you know you see it. He will be with me at the autograph session, and we will have all that stuff. If if you'd like to have it for yourself, I'd be honored to sign any of it for you. So there's that, and then if you're on Twitter, make sure and follow me on Twitter. And it's at Vic Mignogna, that weird last name. And also I would be remiss not to tell you about my lifelong dream project that I just finished. You know how you like anime, video games? For me, it was Star Trek. When I was a little kid, you could not pry me away from the television. A 19-inch black and white television, sitting on the floor in the living room because my mom had just divorced my dad and we didn't have anything. No furniture, right? So the TV was plugged in the wall and sat on the floor. And I would lay on the floor every day and watch Star Trek. I lived for that show. You don't even know. My mother, I drove my mom insane. Like, she hated it. Because it was all I ever talked, right? I made her crazy. She literally called it Star Trash. She did. And I don't know if she just did it to make me mad, because she knew it would make me mad, right? It's like, it's like calling Jesus a bad name. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like, you say something bad about Star Trek, we are going. You know? It's going to happen. So, I loved it so much. So much so that it kind of inspired me to do things at 12 years old, or I should, more specifically, I should say, to try things for the first time at 12 years old that I'd never tried before. For instance, building a prop. I'd never built anything in my life. I was freaking 12 years old, right? But I was so in love with this show, the phasers and those communicators. How cool were those things that flip open? I was like, oh my gosh. And there were no cell phones, y'all. Just let me put this in context. There were no cell phones. So I wanted to build those things. I was inspired to build things. I'd never tried that before in my life. And then I wanted to make uniforms. So I got my mom to teach me to use the sewing machine because she hated Star Trash. She wasn't about to make them for me. But she's like, I'll show you how to use a sewing machine. You make your Star Trash uniforms. So she taught me to use the sewing machine. I made my own uniforms. I would go to the fabric stores, y'all. I get Joanne fabrics myself. And I would walk up and down the aisles looking for just the right color gold. You know, and for Captain Kirk's uniform. And then try to find some black that had little sparkles in it for the pants. And then, wait, it gets better. After I made these uniforms and made these phasers, I want to make a Star Trek episode. I'm 12, but I want to make a Star Trek episode. So you know what I did? I rounded all the kids in the neighborhood up. Because my parents had a movie camera. It's crazy, there were none. They had film cameras, home movie cameras. They were 8mm, and then they became super 8mm, but it was a film camera. And you had to take the film, the little reel, to the photomat and get it developed. Like, you couldn't, like, play it back and see what you just made. It was insane. But I would round the kids in the neighborhood, I would make them wear the costumes that I made. I'm Captain Kirk, you're Mr. Spock, you're Scotty, you're the alien. You know what I mean? And I would make these little episodes where I'd shoot these little Star Trek episodes. They're on the internet. If you want something, if you're having a bad day and you want something to make you laugh, check them out. Vic's Vintage, like Star Trek Adventures or something. They're all up there. Fast forward 4 decades, and I am now doing professionally the things that Star Trek inspired me to try for the first time when I was 12. I started auditioning for school plays because I wanted to do what they were doing on that show. I wanted to tell stories that moved people. And the way Star Trek moved me. So I started auditioning for school plays. And then I got into theater. And I minored in theater in college and on and on and on. Here I am, voice acting. Acting started because of Star Trek. I'm a filmmaker. In college, I majored in film. I learned all about filmmaking because when I was 12, I was making Star Trek episodes and I wanted to make film projects and tell stories on screen. So almost a lot of the things I do today professionally, I do because Star Trek inspired me. So we've come full circle now. 40 years later, about 5 years ago, I started a web series. I didn't know if anyone would like it. That's not why I made it. It wasn't going to make me any money, because you can't charge money for something that belongs to someone else. Star Trek belongs to somebody else. I did it as my love letter back to Star Trek, as my tribute to something that really formed me in many ways. So I made an episode where I got to play Captain Kirk, my childhood hero. I built all the sets, and we made an episode called Pilgrim of Eternity. And we put it out, and people really enjoyed it. Now, they could have hated it, but they liked it. So then we started raising money to make more episodes. Now today, as I stand before you, 4.5 years later, we have made 11 full-length episodes. We've won dozens of awards. We have 8 million views now. And it's been very, very well received by a lot of people. I can't even believe it. It's insane. Where was I? 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
London.
No, wait, let me think, where was it? Because I want to be accurate about this. I was at Customs, Heathrow, London. I was standing in the customs line, waiting to go through customs, go into England. I'd flown over there 10 hours, right, standing there, and every, it's a snake, right? So every time you go down a new line, you see there's that same person, right? And then you turn, go back, oh, there they are again. You know what I mean? And you see them as you go by them. And every time I went by this one guy, he would go. He didn't say anything, but I just noticed that he was kind of looking at me. And one time I went by him and he grabbed my shoulder and he goes, I'm so sorry. Are you Captain Kirk? From Star Trek Continues? And I was like, yeah. And I mean, how crazy is that? What was that? That was like last weekend, okay? 2 days ago, I was at Fried Electronics in Burbank, California. I went to buy a case to put a solid state hard drive in. I had a solid state drive internal drive in my old laptop, and my old laptop died, so I pulled the drive out, because solid state drives are pretty expensive. And I was gonna buy an encasement to put it in and make it an external drive. So I'm at Fry's and I'm walking around looking for the right hallway, the right aisle for these things, and some guy walks up to me and goes, "Is your name Vic?" Yeah? He goes, "Dang, man, I love Star Trek Continues, huge fan." It's crazy! Now I want you to remember how I told you this started 40 years ago. This little 12-year-old kid who's watching this show with millions of other people, right? Dreaming and imagining. And fast forward, and we've made this series, and I hope you'll check it out. In fact, tonight we're showing an episode here, in that room right there. I'd love for you to join us. And the best part is, if you go to StarTrekContinues.com, and you click on episodes, you'll see all 11 episodes there, and you can watch all of them, and here's the magic word, for free. We're not charging any money, we're not trying to make any profit, it's just a gift to the world to celebrate my childhood love of Star Trek. So check it out, and I think you'll really enjoy it. You'll see some familiar faces. There's one guy that plays Mr. Spock. I'm not going to say his name, and don't you? He was here last year, but we won't talk about him. And then Chuck Huber. You guys know who Chuck Huber is? Awesome. Chuck Huber plays Dr. McCoy. Anybody watch Mythbusters?
Yes.
Grant Imahara from Mythbusters plays Sulu. It is a great group of people, and we've had guest stars from many different sci-fi pop culture TV shows. Incredible Hulk, I mentioned. Doctor Who, any Doctor Who fans?
Yes.
Heck yeah, right? Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Buffy, Farscape, you name it. We've had a lot of great guest stars, so check it out, all right? That was a long way to say check it out at StarTrekContinues.com, all right? Now, the autograph session is this afternoon. What is it, at 4? At 3:30. So make sure and come see me then, but let's talk about anything you want to talk. Who's got a question? Anybody have a question you want to ask about anything? Dang, not you, man. You scare me. No, you're next.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was gonna start by saying like this one thing that I'm doing nowadays because I've been born and raised here. I was gonna like recommend Petro's to you for a restaurant.
Petro's? What kind of food is it?
It's sort of diner-esque, but it's mainly like burgers and steaks and shit.
But you like it?
Yeah, and
What's your favorite thing when you go there? What do you get?
chicken parmesan sandwich.
Ooh. Sounds good.
You also have to get a shake. You also have to get a shake.
Well, I have to get a shake.
That's a $5 shake.
Okay, what's your question?
Were you sad when Spock died in Star Trek?
I was extremely sad, and I thought it was the greatest thing they ever did in the movies was kill Spock. You know why? Because it was powerful. And then the worst thing they ever did was bring him back in the next movie. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do something like that, do it for the power of it, and let it sink. You know what, guys? Can I get all morbid with you for 1 second? Guess what? Life, there's loss in life. Welcome to reality. Life is loss, eventually. If you haven't experienced it yet, you will. It's just a matter of time. Nobody escapes. So the question is, how do you grow from it? How do you learn from it? How do you become a better person from losing something or someone precious to you? Because it's just a matter of time. It's going to happen to everybody. So when they made that decision, I'm like, dang, that was ballsy. Kill Mr. Spock. Good for you. A beloved character, and him and Kirk, I mean, all the adventures they've been through, and how close they had been. And then for Kirk to watch Spock die, and I gotta tell you something, the funeral scene where Kirk is saying of all the souls I've encountered in my travels, his was most human. Oh my God, I was sobbing. That was powerful. And then, a year later, the third movie comes out. Look, Spock's back. Oh, I hated that. I love Leonard Nimoy, but I really, and you know what I like in it too? Let's make a little Full Metal reference here. Hughes.
Yes.
You know what? I kind of liked Full Metal when we started, and when they killed Hughes, I was like, hell yeah, that is a ballsy move, right? A beloved character, as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good show. These people are willing to sacrifice a beloved character for the sake of the story. That's powerful.
Oh, hey, he's back.
No, he's not. What are you talking about? Don't screw these people up. Yes, right. Full Metal Alchemist 2. Hughes' Revenge. Okay, here's my favorite guy right here with this question. What's it gonna be?
Oh, you're gonna like it.
Oh, no.
Are you married?
No.
Do you want to be?
To who? This guy. I'd be a bad husband.
Me too.
Yes, my dear.
So you're always really positive. You're always really happy, and you always tend to really inspire people. And
You'd think so, wouldn't you? She's like, crap, he's messing my whole plan up. No, I do want to say something about that, but thank you for that. I love you for that. Thank you.
I worked 4 years for this thing. Come on. So I was just wondering, what are some ways that you stay positive? And also, I wanted to say, I've never ever seen a episode of Star Trek in my life, and then I saw Star Trek Continues, and now I have seen everything Star Trek related.
Oh my gosh, you need to write CBS. You need to write a letter to CBS and go, Vic Mignogna got me into Star Trek. Like I've been telling them. I'm like, do you realize that there's an entire generation of anime fans who don't give a crap about some show that was made in the late 60s, but they like me, and they like Todd and Chuck and Grant, and they'll watch it because of us, and then they're gonna fall in love with Star Trek, and they're gonna go back and watch TOS. You gotta learn that phrase. TOS, the original series, that's what that stands for. TOS. And then Next Generation, and then on and on. So thank you for that. So did you have a question, Madonna?
Yes, I was just wondering how you stay so positive, how you...
Oh, that's right, you did have, that's right.
Yeah.
You know what, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. And this may be the most important thing I ever say to you. I'm an idiot, just like you.
Thanks.
You follow me?
I mean, we're working the same.
Yeah. I'm a bozo. You catch me at the right time, just like you. Right? Can we be honest? Any one of you. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? If you catch you at just the wrong time, you're rude, you're cruel, you're selfish, whatever. Me too. The difference is, but I shouldn't say the difference is, but for me, I should say, for me in my life, my relationship with God is extremely important to me. Not because of anything I've done. And this is the important part. I didn't do squat. He did it. I change, right? Like you. Up and down, from day to day, all over the place. Happy, sad, angry, mad, excited, depressed, right? He doesn't change. And he loves me just the way I am. If anyone has ever told you that he loves you based on following a bunch of rules, or if anyone's ever told you that God loves you based on how you wear your hair, or what kind of clothes you wear, or whether you watch anime, or how many piercings you have, they are liars. Sorry if I just called your parents liars, or your uncle, or somebody you know. What I have come to learn in my life, and again, I'm just telling you my life. This is my story. You guys are free, whatever you feel and believe. For me, I know that God loves me just as I am. He loves me on my crappy days. He loves me on my selfish days. He loves me on my idiot days. He loves me on my happy days. It doesn't change. He always loves me for just who I am. I don't have to perform for him. I don't have to follow some list of rules to please him. He loves me. And if I don't ever get to tell you guys anything more important, he loves you too, exactly the same way. You don't have to subscribe to some church. You don't have to call yourself anything particular. You don't have to sign any particular documents. You don't have to be dipped underwater. You don't have to sign your name in blood. You don't have to do anything. But let yourself be loved. Sorry, that's really heavy, isn't it? And I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, that's just who I am. That's how I feel. And I would be remiss not to tell you that, because I think it's a good thing. Right? If I knew somebody loved you exactly as you are, with all of your frailties and all of your challenges and struggles, if I knew somebody loved you desperately just as you are, what kind of a jerk would I be not to tell you so? So I have to say it. I'm not trying to convert you. Did anyone hear that? I'm not trying to get you, go join a church. No, I am not trying to convert you. I'm just sharing my life with you. This is my answer to her question. Lest you get on the internet and say, Vic's trying to beat me over the head with the Bible. I don't have any Bible.
Vic did it.
Yeah, right? And that happens too. It happens. But I'm just answering this young lady's question. I try to be happy for two reasons. Number one, because I know that I am loved, always, as I am, on my worst day. And you can know that too. And the second reason is gratitude. I don't mean to be all heavy, but this is what you get. Sorry. This is what you get in my pants. Do you guys realize that on your worst day, you probably live better than 80% of the rest of the world? Do you know that? You don't. But trust me, as the old guy, I've been to those places. On our worst day, we live better than probably 80% of the rest of the world. And yet our lives are surrounded by advertisements and celebrities who try to tell you that your life is incomplete because you don't have this hair product, or because you're not as pretty as this person, or you're not as thin as this person, or you're not as famous as this person, or you don't wear fancy enough clothes, or you know what, you deserve a better cell phone, you deserve a nicer car. Bull crap. You are blessed right where you are. If you were to pull out a pencil and start writing, well, I don't have this, and I don't enjoy this, and I'm sad about this, I would bet you if you were to draw a line down the middle of the paper and then start writing on the other side of the paper all of the things you have to be thankful for, you'd find that they're an awful lot. And they go way beyond money and material possessions. Trust me, those things come and go. You buy a fancy new car, you'll love it for about a month. And then you'll get used to it, and you'll need to find something else to give you that thrill. But I'm talking about gratitude for things like, you're wearing clothes, aren't you? That's a blessing. You understand that? That's a blessing. You get that? There are people that don't have them. And you're probably going to wear something tomorrow different, aren't you? Oh my God, he's got 2 changes of clothes. That's a gift. That's something he can be grateful for. Can you see me? You have eyes. You can see. That's a gift. Do you understand that? Did you deserve that? Did you build that? Did you make that? Did you buy your hearing? Your legs? A roof over, you know what I mean? So many things. Roof over your head. A chance to even work and earn. Look around to your people in your life that are your friends. Your senses. The air in your lungs. You didn't make that. You fell asleep last night. You closed your eyes just like me with every expectation to wake up this morning, didn't you? But you didn't know that, did you? You didn't have some guarantee. Look, I put down good money to wake up tomorrow morning. I deserve to wake up tomorrow morning. No, maybe not, right? So when your eyes open, you breathed all night long, didn't you? You were completely asleep, and your lungs just kept doing their thing for you. And you woke up, your eyes opened up this morning, just like another day. It's all gift, everybody. It's all a gift. And for those of you that may be in here are a little depressed, a little sad, just roll with it. It's going to get better. And you can choose to focus on the things that make you sad or the things that depress you, or you can focus on the 100 other things that you have to be thankful for. It's your choice. A couple of years ago, on January 1st, December 31st, New Year's Eve, right? And what are you supposed to do on New Year's Eve? Resolutions, right? Make a resolution for the new year. What am I going to do differently? What can I do better this year? A few years ago, it was New Year's Eve, and I was thinking, what should I really work on? And a voice in my head said, you should be more grateful. Quit focusing on what you don't have and start contemplating the gratitude for what you do. And I thought, well, okay, that's a good thing. I should be more grateful. I should practice being more grateful. Well, how do you do that? How do you remind yourself to be more grateful? If it kind of goes against your normal habitual behavior, how do you remember to do something like that? Well, how do you remember to do anything? If you have to get up for work tomorrow morning and you have to remember to get up at 8 a.m., what do you do? set an alarm. So you know what I did? Set an alarm on my phone. Goes off every day. What's the only one that's marked there?
It's 12 p.m. and it says alarm every day.
12 noon every day. If I'm on an airplane, it goes off. It doesn't need a signal, right? If I'm in a recording session, it goes off. And it's to remind me, at 12 p.m. every day, I hear that alarm, and it reminds me to be grateful. Stop what you're doing. So I stop what I'm doing, and just take, and it doesn't have to be like drop to your knees, and no. 10 seconds. Just stop for 10 seconds and contemplate all the gifts in your life that you and I may take for granted every day. And it really made a big difference in my life, in my overall sense of happiness. That was a long answer. Sorry about that. Now, who's got a really fun question? Like, oh my gosh, this is so depressing. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. I hope I didn't offend anybody. But it's her fault. Because she asked the question.
Two things. One, I want to talk to you more about Christianity because I'm a Christian personally.
Awesome.
I know how to become a better Christian myself. Number two, you're talking about a music career. Do you have a specific favorite genre that you listen to?
Oh my gosh.
Or,
You know, I tell you, my favorite era is 80s.
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
80s music, oh my God. Just a small town girl, living in another world. I love the 80s. Journey, Elton John, Barry Manilow, Billy Joel, Foreigner, Little River Band. I love the 80s.
Iron Maiden.
What?
Iron Maiden.
Okay, to each his own. Yeah, I was 17 years old when I started playing the piano and writing songs, and yeah, music is a very, very big part of my life. Thank you for asking. Yes. Love that shirt, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, do you have a personal preference between the first Full Metal series or Brotherhood? Because I like Brotherhood.
You're about to start a full room.
Yeah, you know what? Most people do. Most people like Brotherhood better than the original.
He's gonna say no. Here it comes.
What happened to yours?
You win.
He's avoiding the question.
I'm not avoiding the question. Actually, but you do, Crow. You know what? When Brotherhood first started, I was so excited because I thought Full Metal was over. The first series meant so much to me. I loved it so much. And I was so sad when it was over, but at the same time, I was so proud that it ended strong. You know what I mean? A lot of anime series, they just kind of peter out. You know, they were really cool for a while. And then somebody somewhere goes, we should make more because this is a really popular show. But they run out of good ideas. You know what I'm talking about? And they just keep making it. It just starts getting dumb and lame, and the story doesn't really go anywhere. And they're like, man, that sure fizzled out. So I was really glad that Full Metal didn't fizzle out. It ended, didn't even have an ending. It just kind of, but it left you wanting more. Follow me? So when Full Metal Brotherhood came, when we found out Brotherhood was coming, I was initially so excited. And to me, I didn't think of it like another different show. To me, as Ed, I thought, oh my God, I get to play this character again. And Ed gets to go to new places and have new adventures and meet new people. So for me, it almost felt like chapter 2, you know what I mean? A chance to revisit this character and this world that I loved so much. I was a little scared because the first one was so good, and sequels are typically not as good as their originals. Occasionally there's an exception, sure, you know, like Alien. And Aliens was a great film. And Star Trek, but Star Trek 2 was a great sequel. But then there are all the others, and you know what I'm talking about. So I was a little worried But when I found out that it was going to be following the manga, I was like, oh, that's cool. Because people had been telling me for years how the manga's awesome. I'd never read it, so I didn't know what the story was, but everybody said the manga's really great for Full Metal. Now, in answer to your question, I didn't used to want to answer it because I didn't want to tick anybody off. And I knew that most people like Brotherhood best because it's just, it's a harder hitting, darker story. It actually has an ending, and it's a very complex, deep story. But for me, I think my favorite is the first one. And it's because that's where I first met these characters. Does that make sense? It's like your first love. You know what I mean? Like you fall in love with somebody in high school, right? The limited amount you understand about love in high school. And you may go on to meet somebody else, right? And they're prettier, or they're nicer, or they treat you better. But you always remember. You know what I mean? You always remember that first love. And the way it felt. And so for me, I have such deep affection for the original. And meeting those characters for the first time, and developing the story, and coming to love that world as much as I did. So I probably go with the first one for me personally, even though I fully understand that most people kind of like Brotherhood better. But they're both great series. How cool is that? Like, at least you can't say one's crap and one's really great. No, they're both really great for different reasons. Question?
Uncle Crow, better be a good question. You got your flask? Oh yeah, he does.
I have 2 questions. What can you tell us about Ruby Volume 6? And would you be okay, or what's your thoughts on Soul Eater follows the manga?
Well, as far as season 6 of Ruby, I'm not going to get myself in trouble by telling you anything. Here's what I can tell you about season 6. Yes. There is one. That's the answer. As far as Soul Eater, I don't know much about Soul Eater, except that I'm her dad. That's all I know. I know that I love Death Scythe. He was a really fun character to play. I don't know a great deal about it though. Does it follow the manga or does it not?
The original does not.
The original did not. Is there something else happening?
It is it's really dark.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. No, I don't know much about it, but I do know that I enjoyed what I got to do in it. Question? Anybody? Yes, my dear.
Can you just take a moment to rant about hating milk as Edward Everett?
I'm afraid I can't do that because I love milk.
Oh.
What's Ed's problem, really? I don't know. I love milk so much. He wonders why he's so stunted. Oh my gosh. Daily Pure. Yeah. Milk is stupid. Question? Yes.
So 2 parts, and there's a specific reason why I'm asking. How long do you plan on voice acting, and is there any projects you can give us a little teaser about?
You know what? I'm so glad you asked me that. I am so bad. I forget to talk about things. I made a list of shows that I've worked on lately, and I'll read you the list. You may or may not. Uh-oh, sorry.
Loaded.
Yes. I am doing my panel. So, what are you doing? Drug deal. What was the first question you asked me?
How long do you plan on voice
How long do I plan on voice acting? Until death. I will do it until nobody will cast me anymore. And then I'll do it myself. Like a little old, crazy guy who sits in his house and records voice acting for nothing. That's right. Here you go, little pipsqueak. That doesn't really work, does it? The geriatric alchemist. Oh, Franz. Where's my bedpan? Wet the bed again, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna read this list to you. You may have heard of some of these, and some of them you may not. Oh my gosh. Did I put it in the list here? I hope I did. Yes, it's in there. I'll get to it. Okay. Unbreakable Machine Doll, Space Dandy, Carnival, Tokyo Raven, Maji, Sailor Moon, Rock Lee, Free, Brothers Conflict, Rah-Rah-Rah, Black Butler, Heroic Legend of Arslan Garo, Rage of Bahamut, Show by Rock, Ruby, Lord Marksman of Venatus, Ladybug, God Eater, that's a video game, Battle Battalion's a video game, Escaflowne, World of Winx, Trinari, Utawari, Anti-Gang, Aldnoah Zero, Pillars of Eternity, that's a video game, Fairy Tail, Strike Witches, Garo Crimson Moon, Charlotte, Digimon, Rio Rainbow Gate, Charger Girl, Judy-chan, World of Warcraft, Asterix War, Star Trek Online, Mobile Legends, Skip Beat, Seven Knights, One Punch Man, Rurouni Kenshin, Danganronpa, Sonic the Hedgehog video game, Orange, Token Ranbu, Drifters, Gali Dana, Yuri on Ice, Umaro, Joker game, Nanbaka, League of Legends, One Piece, Asabo.